presentation of Fox Sports.
Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is presented by
Bell Tire.
Right-hander Rick Porcello will take to the mound this afternoon, looking to lead his team to a victory in the rubber game in this series against Kansas City. It is an absolutely beautiful day for baseball here in the Motor City as we bring you the third and final game of the series between the Tigers and the Kansas City Royals. Hi again, everyone. Welcome to Tigers Baseball. Mario and Pemba, Rod Allen, glad to have you with us. Another day, another comeback Tigers victory is becoming habit-forming, Rod, but maybe of the 9 hits the Tigers had yesterday in their comeback with, perhaps the most two important for the future, at least, the ones that Scott Sizemore had. Looks like he's starting to come on now.
You know, he is settling in awfully nicely, but I look back to spring training to see where it's come from. Jim Leyland didn't treat him like a rookie that was trying to make a major league roster. He treated him like a veteran player because of the ankle surgery he had in the offseason. Therefore, Sizemore was able to take his time in spring training. It was a cold spring in Florida, so there were days where he needed to take a day off. But now he has finally settled in. He's getting healthy by the day. He's getting bunches of base hits. He runs the bases very well. And he also is very, very good at that second base position. So Sizemore has done a very nice job in the very first week of his major league career.
Well, it was a bit of a rocky start in his first 4 games. He was just 1 for 11, but his last 2 now, 5 for 8 with a couple of extra base hits and a .391 on-base percentage. And it looks like Scott Sizemore now starting to feel a little bit more comfortable. Tigers wrapping up this series here against KC. Off day tomorrow. Then on Friday, they start their West Coast swing here in the month of April. Right now with more on our coverage today, let's send to the Call Sam Studios in Ryan Field.
Go. Yeah, I think he crossed the plane. Ring him up for a strike. Alex Gordon on the DL, so Kayaspo's been pushed into extra duty, playing in his 7th straight game. Looking at ball 1. High fastball from Porcello. The 1-2. Kayaspo staying alive. Porcello trying to get out of some early inning trouble in this game. Cruised through the first 2 batters, got to Jesus and Pesednik, but then Butler and Guillen followed with sharp singles with 2 outs. So now trying to get out of it here with Kayaspo at the dish. Checks the runners, the 1-2. Kayaspo laying off that one. Another nice win for the Tigers yesterday. Down 5-0 in the 7th inning. Got that 6 runs in the 7th inning to take the 6-5 lead and go on for the 6-5 win. Papa Grande in to close out his 2nd save of the season. Another nice comeback for the Tigers. They were down 7-1 Sunday against the Indians. Came back to win.
Nice fill-in job there. The Tigers and the Royals head to the bottom of the 1st inning. No score. Here's the Tigers starting lineup presented by Big Boy. Rayburn, Damon, and Ordonez occupy the top today. Cabrera cleaning up, followed by Guillen and Inge, Laird, Sizemore, and Everett are your bottom 3 here today for the Tigers. And we are ready for action here in the bottom of the 1st inning. Tigers and the Royals wrapping up this series. Glad to have you with us this afternoon despite our technical problems or audio problems to start this one. We're back on track. Ryan Rayburn is leading it off for Detroit. Batting 143 this season. He hammers one foul back out of play. Rayburn getting the start in center field and batting leadoff for Austin Jackson, who gets a day off today.
Jim said he would do that from time to time, whether it be Kelly in center field or Rayburn in the outfield. He would spell the youngster Jackson on occasion.
Kyle Davies, the pitcher, missing high. There's Jackson, who is off to a nice start offensively for Detroit.
It's not that Jackson needs a day off. He's got those young legs, and more than likely we will see him in this game at some point in time if the score is favorable in the Tigers' favor.
2-2 on Ryan Rayburn, who is 1 for 2 in the series.
It's also a nice opportunity for Jim to get Rayburn going. Sometimes when you leave spring training, your bench players that aren't getting consistent reps. They tend to get off to slow starts. So you get them in there as much as you can to see if you can get those guys going along with your regular players.
That is popped up right side of the infield. Butler and Getz, foul ground, tough play. Getz runs it down. Well, the Bernstein advantage brings you the scouting report on Kyle Davies. Got the Bernstein advantage. We go to bat for you.
Davies has got a good fastball, and what they're trying to get him to do is to pitch to more contact early in counts, which means that will control the fastball. And by getting ahead, they feel like he can get to his secondary pitches, which will make him a much better big league pitcher. He doesn't like Detroit all that much. He's 1-6 in his career, and his earned run average is over 5.5.
Johnny Damon batting in the 2 slot. They're trying to get him going as well.
But most of the damage the Tigers have done this year against Kansas City Royals pitching has not been against the starters. It's been against that bullpen.
Yeah, I don't know what the percentage is, but a good portion of what they've been able to do against KC versus the bullpen. And that's something Jim Leland talked about before the game today. He said, yeah, we've gotten off to a nice start this year. We're 6-2, but we're still not hitting the opponent's starting pitcher all that well. Trey Hillman's team coming into play today at 3-5. Ball high to Johnny Damon.
Trey Hillman's 3rd year as the manager for the Kansas City Royals after winning a championship over in Japan before he came stateside. Trey had a lot of success in Japan as a manager.
Wave and a miss, and Damon goes down on strikes. Davies has his first of the game. 2 gone.
It's a fastball belt buckle high that Damon is a little bit tardy on, but most big league hitters would be tardy on that same pitch. And Jason Kendall has been very consistent in the 6 games he has caught so far this year against Detroit batters. Lots of fastballs above the belt buckle.
Here's Ordonez, who is 1 for 9 in the series. He's quieted down just a little bit, but still batting a very solid .371. Swung on and belted deep in the air to left field. This one has a chance, and it's gone. Into the bullpen and left. Maglio with his 3rd of the season already.
That is the biggest difference this year early versus last year with Maglio. Maglio is looking to do damage when he gets the count in his favor. If he gets a fastball early, he's looking to turn and burn to the pull field. Obviously, if he falls behind, he'll take the base hit to right. But early in counts, this is what we've seen Maglio do since spring training. He is looking to play long ball early in counts.
That was a cookie right at the knees over the plate. Maglio punished it. 3rd home run of the season, 8th RBI, and that one traveled about 390 feet. So the Tigers, concerned about falling behind, will not do so today. They lead 1-0. That's driven to the air deep into right field. DeJesus going back, still going back, won't get it. 1 hop into the seats, and that is a ground rule double for Cabrera. So after 2 quick outs, Tigers hit a couple of bullets. First double of the year for Cabrera.
Take a look at the lower half of Cabrera's body. Once he gets that front foot down, you see the hip turn. And when you see the hip turn, as far as Cabrera is concerned, that's when the lethal bat quickness comes into play. From the waist down, he is about as strong as anybody in the game today. And because of that, he generates tremendous bat speed. That ball just kept slicing and slicing and slicing away from DeJesus in right field.
Carlos Guillen rolls one to first base right at Billy Butler, and that is that for Detroit. But they take the lead on the home run by Maglio Ordonez. A deep drive to left, and it's 1-0 Detroit. Today brought to you by Honda Bloomfield. To Jesus, Podsednik, and Butler will be featured at the top, followed by Guillen, Cayaspo, and Mitch Meyer. Kendall, Betancourt, and Getz are your bottom three. And the Tigers have taken a 1-0 lead, courtesy of the home run by Maglio Ordonez. Mitch Meyer, 0 for 3 so far this year, the Novi product. Getting a start today in center field. Rick Ankiel getting the day off today. The 2-0 pitch. Porcello in that first inning got the first 2 outs, gave up a couple of base hits, but then got Cayaspo to ground out. No damage done. Fouled straight back. 2-2 on Mitch Meyer.
The 2 base hits that Porcello gave up, one to Billy Butler, also one to Jose Guillen. Guillen is on fire right now. Both of those pitches were in the mid-90s. When Porcello gets up to 95 miles an hour, his baseball straightens out. When he's right around 89 to 90, as that last pitch was, that's when he's got that lethal late movement. That's when he gets lots of ground balls.
3-2 on Meyer. Bouncing ball slowly to first base. Cabrera. Porcello covers, and they get the out. 1 gone here in the second inning. And here's the scouting report on Rick Porcello, presented by Scott's Lawn Pro.
Well, now that he's gotten the opening day assignment behind him, he can kind of settle into his regular routine and really not think about the pressure of pitching opening day in Detroit, which is a lot of pressure for a young kid. We told you about his excellent 2-seam fastball, and when that's on, lots of ground balls for Porcello. He will need to flip the script. However, on this Kansas City Royals team, they really had his number last year. 10 earned runs in 18 innings against Rick.
Isn't that amazing? I mean, the year he had, the trouble that he had against a team that the Tigers had some decent success against. And not really a lineup that, would compare to the Yankees or the Red Sox, but for whatever reason. Jason Kendall is batting .310. He is 3 for 10 in the series. Porcello keeps it up high, and the count now is 2-1.
Porcello has a 4-seam fastball that will get into the mid-90s. He's got excellent action with his 2-seam fastball. His slider is getting better and better every day, and he's got a nice changeup as well.
That's another base hit for Kendall, who just keeps on hitting.
He can do that with the best of them. Kendall will get some singles. There's no doubt about that, but not many extra base hits these days. Let's take a look at the Tigers defensively behind Porcello, presented by Beaumont Hospital. You got Damon, Rayburn, Ordonez in the outfield, Inge, Everett, Sizemore, Cabrera in the infield. G-Money back behind the plate after a couple of knocks yesterday. And the 21-year-old phenom, Rick Porcello, on the bump.
3 hits for the Royals, all singles. You see Ryan Rayburn getting the call out in center today. Leland saying before the game that, it's not really hard to get Santiago and Avila their playing time because they split pretty well with the other guys, but it's kind of, you got to get creative to get Kelly in there and to get Rayburn in there because they play positions where there are some established starters. There's a bouncer into right field, base hit. Betancourt goes the other way. Maglio bobbled it a bit in right, but Kendall holding up.
That's why when you're running from second base, in this case being Jason Kendall, you kind of look back instead of looking at your third base coach on a slow hit roller to the outfield, because if he's looking at Maglio, after Maglio bobbles this ball after he doesn't pick it up, Kendall's able to get to third base, but he's looking at the third base coach right now and has no idea what just happened. Then he tries to start up again, and you're done.
Here comes Chris Getz, who did not start yesterday. He came on late in the ball game. In fact, he made the final out of the game. 0 for 4 in the series. Porcello misses low.
See where Porcello needs one of those patented ground balls that he was able to get so many times last year to get double plays, to get himself out of jams, although the middle infielders or the infielders, however, will have to hustle to get Getz. He's got real good speed running from that side of the batter's box.
Getz a 208. Slow start this year for the Grosse Pointe South product. He was acquired along with Josh Fields, who is currently on the disabled list with a strained hip.
He is the only addition that Dayton Moore made in the offseason that's off to a slow start.
Popped up. Shallow left field. Adam Everett. 2 gone.
All the rest of them,
they're doing well.
And Keel, Kendall, doing a very nice job. Podsednik, of course.
Top of the order now, David DeJesus. Tough game for the Royals to put behind them yesterday. They had a 5-0 lead over the Tigers. Detroit comes storming back with a 6-run seventh. DeJesus 0 for 1 with a ground out.
Tigers have 6 wins this year. 5 of the wins they have had to come from behind to win the game, and they have come from behind in 2 of those games from 5 runs or more down.
Well, and while that makes for some thrilling memories, it's not exactly the way you want to go about your business every night, because as Jim Leland says, sooner or later that will catch up with you and you won't win those games. 2-0. Meanwhile, Porcello calls Gerald Laird out. Tigers at 6-2 in the Central. Minnesota 6-2 in the Central. And Chicago off to a 3-5 start. Cleveland struggling. The 2-0 pitch.
DeJesus is one of Kansas City's best hitters with runners in scoring position. A couple of years ago, he led the American League, hitting with runners in scoring position. In the second half of last year, he was outstanding. He's a tough out when men are on base.
3-1. Overall last year in the second half of the season, he was very good. He hit .316 after the All-Star break. And we've talked about him oftentimes, Ron. But, he's one of those guys that goes about his business, puts up solid numbers every year, but not a whole lot of people talk about him.
He doesn't wow you with his physical tools, but at the end of the day, he's got some really nice numbers that he puts together.
That ball's hit well, left center field. Really well to left center, and that ball is up against the wall. This will get 2 runs in for the Royals. David DeJesus slams a double, and Kansas City quickly takes the lead.
Well, he had a favorable count to hit in, 3 balls and 1 strike, and Porcello tried to sneak a fastball by him, but DeJesus stayed back. He hit the ball the opposite way. And this ball stayed up a long time, but neither outfielder could run it down. Too bad it didn't bounce out for a ground rule double, which would have held Betancourt up at third.
RBIs 4 and 5 for DeJesus.
Some guys just don't panic when runners are in scoring position, and DeJesus would be one of those guys.
There's a strikeout, Podsednik. And I guess you can say that there are the real good hitters are the guys that don't panic with 2 strikes in the count either. That was not the case on DeJesus, but that's how you hit well in scoring position. You have to be able to hit from behind in the count. Podsednik waiting on the 0-1 and slams this one in the air. Left center field. Rayburn cruising over, has room to retire the side, but not before the Royals take the lead. 2-run double by David DeJesus. DeJesus double. And here's a reminder, if Detroit combines for 3 or more home runs in this game, bring a copy of the box score to a participating Arby's location tomorrow. Get a free small order of curly fries. You can find that Tigers box score in your local newspaper or at foxsportsdetroit.com. And the Tigers, they already have 1 home run. The solo shot by Maglio in the first. Brandon Inge leads off the bottom of the second. It'll be Inge, Laird, and Sizemore.
Inge off to a sizzling start this year. We talk about Maglio and Cabrera, and rightfully so, but Inge is right there with him, neck and neck. He's off to a great start.
There's a fair ball over the bag at third base. This will be extra bases. And Inge will cruise into second with a double.
9-game hitting streak for Brandon Inge to start the season.
His career high happened a few years ago, 13 straight, so he's climbing toward that.
And this is really something that we haven't seen Inge do a whole lot of. We really haven't seen him pull balls directly down the third baseline, but the ball's at the bottom of the strike zone. He gets the bat head out in front, and he's able to lace that ball right past Kayasco. That replay courtesy of Lincoln Mercury Exmo.
The Tigers very quickly get the tying run in scoring position.
Got a new camera angle today with Exmo.
Pretty sweet.
Ooh, it's tight.
Switching it up a little bit.
Yeah, keep it fresh.
Yeah. Can't get too stale, you know. Here's Gerald Laird. See if Gerald can move him up.
Well, good to see Gerald get a couple of knocks yesterday. A couple line drives to get that batting average on the interstate. I-36 as we speak. You like that?
That's one of my favorites. So I guess you could also call it a bingo number, right?
No. You got to be under 100 for the bingo number.
Okay.
Yeah, under 100 for the. He had a bingo number yesterday.
Well, write me down the rules, and I'll look them over tonight. 1-1 on Gerald Laird.
I think he was 078 yesterday.
Oh, okay.
Bingo.
Here's the 1-1 pitch, missed inside, and Kendall's able to keep it close enough.
This is where Davies gets himself into trouble when he's not able to get ahead of the hitters at this level. It's not a good recipe. It's hard to throw fastballs by big league hitters in 2-1 counts when you only throw 91, 92 miles an hour.
Well, the Tigers have 3 hits on the board. All 3 of them are for extra bases.
One thing I noticed about Kendall in the 6 games that we have played against them this year is that every time there's a runner on second base, he goes out to the pitcher's mound. He calls the second baseman or the shortstop in to possibly change the signs, because I don't know if he thinks the base runner's trying to relay location or steal signs or not, but he's trying to stay ahead of that situation, which is a sign of a true good veteran catcher.
Now the 2-1. What are some of the things catchers look for in terms of base runners maybe tipping off signs?
Well, guys can have their hands on their knees one time, then they can kind of take their hands off of their knees. Guys could look to the left, which would be right field, to indicate a fastball outside. Guys look toward third base to indicate a fastball inside. Certain different things guys can do to relay signs and signals to that batter that's in the batter's box. You have to be awfully creative not to tip off the opposing team.
Gerald Laird has just gone down on strikes, and that'll bring up Scott Sizemore. Sizemore at .316 has 6 hits on the homestand.
You know what they say, partner? If you're not cheating, you're not trying.
That's right.
And there's really nothing wrong with relaying signs and signals if you can get away with it without the other team kind of knowing what's going on. And if they do find out, they'll handle it themselves.
All part of the game.
Yes, indeed.
And it has been for a long, long time. Here's the 0-1. Driven high in the air, left center field. Sizemore puts a charge into this one, but it's going to die out there at the warning track. Into that wind. And holding at second base is Brandon Inge. 2 gone.
Inge thought that that ball possibly was going to sneak into the outfield and find some grass out there, and he was halfway toward third base. As a rule of thumb, if there's nobody out, you want to go back to tag up on that ball, because now you're standing on third base with only 1 out. It makes it a lot easier for Everett to score you, but with 1 out, you can go halfway. If you can read it and get back and get to third, that's even better, but he read that play perfectly.
Here's Adam Everett. Meanwhile, Sizemore continuing to hit the ball hard. That one just was hit to the gap. Good signs from Scott Sizemore offensively, who seems to be looking more and more comfortable at the plate these days. Everett trying to tie this game up with a 2-out hit.
I think Jim Leland handled Sizemore perfectly in spring training. He didn't treat him like a rookie that was trying to make his first major league roster because of the ankle surgery he had in the offseason playing in the Arizona Fall League. He treated him like a veteran player. He gave him days off. He wanted to make sure that he was healthy when the regular season started.
Wave and a miss. Well, I think the Tigers coming into camp pretty much had identified Sizemore as their starter at second base. So in a way, he was kind of treated like a veteran in that way.
He was. But Jim also knew that because of the ankle and how cold it was in the Grapefruit League this year down in Florida, that when you have a surgically repaired injury, and Inge had one too at his ankles, when it's cold, they just bark. Anybody that's had surgery knows that.
Here's the 1-2. Slice to right field. It's going to be caught by DeJesus. Tigers get a leadoff double, but strand him at second base. 2 in the books here at Comerica on a beautiful day for baseball. Fox Sports Detroit is brought to you by Comerica Bank. Strength and stability since 1849. And by Comcast. Call 1-800-COMCAST for TV, phone, and internet. Back here at Comerica Park on a sunny day here. The temperature has reached 60 degrees right now. Plenty of sunshine, clear skies, and the Tigers down by a run, 2-1.
Tigers couldn't have asked for better weather first week of the season.
It really has been nice to avoid the rain, although we had some rain before the game yesterday. It didn't affect the contest. And now they'll head out to the West Coast for hopefully it'll be a little bit warmer.
That is something Porcello has been very good at today, and that's first pitch strikes. Just about every hitter that's gone to the dish today is behind in the count against Porcello, but that doesn't matter with this guy here, Billy Butler. And he was ahead of him the first time up and threw a 95-mile-per-hour fastball, and Billy hit a seed right back up the middle.
His 5th hit in the series, 5 for 10 as a matter of fact. That was a good pitch.
That slider is getting better and better. It's a good pitch for him. This is a little bigger slider. It froze Billy right now. Ooh, cannot pull the trigger once those knees buckle.
Swing and a miss. 2 strikeouts for Porcello.
We're going to make that our Bell Tire pitch by pitch since it was so impressive by the youngster Porcello. First pitch breaking ball, able to land it softly at 78 miles an hour. And then he's going to get him out with breaking balls now. First time up fastballs, this time up breaking balls, and Billy takes the last one well located on the outside part of the plate.
Jose Guillen with 1 out. They've had a hard time of getting Guillen out as well in the series.
Sizzling hot. Says he's healthy this year. He was not healthy last year.
Now he spent a couple of different times on the DL.
When he has been healthy in his career, he's a perennial 20 home run guy, 90 RBIs driven in. Only
9 home runs, 40 RBIs in only 81 games last year. Looked like he went. Yes, he did. Brian O'Nora confirms that. 2-2 on Jose Guillen. He has hit 4 home runs in his last 3 games. Roll toward third off the bag. No play and an infield hit for Guillen. Right now, we sent it back to the studio. Here's Ryan Field. Ryan. Thanks, Ryan. The Red Sox off to a 3-4 start this year over in the East.
Yeah, they'll be okay, though. They've got a lot of talent. And what they don't have, once they get to the trade deadline, they'll go out and get it.
Teospo rolls one into right field. Another base hit. Back-to-back singles here in the third. 7 hits already rolled up by the Royals. 6 of them singles. And with Mitch Meyer due up, Gerald Laird will head out to the mound. Here comes Jim Leland as well. 2 singles in the first inning, 2 singles in the second inning, and now 2 singles here in the third against Porcello. Rick, in that first start against Cleveland on opening day here, gave up 5 hits in 5 innings. Not a very long visit for Jim Leland. Here's Mitch Meyer. Meyer bounced out to start the second. Ground ball. Cabrera has trouble getting it out of the glove, so they will get the out at second and no more. That looked like it might get into right field as well, but Cabrera down to his knees to make a nice play.
May have been a double play had Cabrera been able to get it out of his glove cleanly when he initially went to his glove, but took a little time to get it, but they still got the force out at second. He's got a strong throwing arm, this Cabrera.
Accurate as well. Here's Kendall with runners at first and third.
He's going to have to make some good pitches here. Kendall's one of those guys that's kind of tough to strike out. And Maglio on right might be playing a little bit too deep right now. Kendall doesn't have the power to hit it over Maglio's head in that direction. But he gets lots of base hits that land softly right in front of Maglio.
I was talking about this yesterday. Back in 05, Kendall had over 600 at-bats in a season without a homer. 1 ball, 1 strike. Buddy has amassed over 2,000 big league hits. And Kendall actually played for Jim Leland. Leland had Kendall in his rookie season. Kendall went on to hit 300 that year with the Pittsburgh Pirates. That's hit the other way, and a base hit. And he'll get another run in. So Kendall does it again. That's his second hit of the game. 3 singles here in the third, giving the Royals their 3rd run. 8 hits already now for KC. We'll bring up Betancourt. Unieski had a single and scored a run on the De Jesus double back in the second. Strike 1.
The Royals came into play today hitting .357 as a team with 2 outs and runners in scoring position. .357. That's amazing. And that has just gone up a little bit with that last base hit by Kendall.
Driven in the air toward left field, hit well. Damon is on the move. He'll run it down at the warning track to retire the side, but the Royals add 1 more. And we'll go to the bottom of the third. Rayburn, David Ordonez coming up.
April in the D Live events here on Fox Sports Detroit. Tonight Pistons in Minnesota at 8 o'clock on FS Plus, and you've got the Red Wings out in Phoenix at 10 p.m. on Fox Sports Detroit. Friday's game, FS Plus against the Seattle Mariners. Make a note of that, game 2. Red Wings Phoenix also tomorrow on Fox Sports Detroit. And Saturday, the Tigers are on Fox Sports Detroit against Seattle as well. For a complete schedule, go to foxsports.com.
Big series starting out for the Red Wings as they try and march their way to another Stanley Cup. Ryan Rayburn batting here in the third. Royals lead 3-1. Rayburn, Damon, and Ordonez facing the right-handed offerings of Kyle Davies, who is 26 years old. He's out of Decatur, Georgia. 8-game winner last year. Bouncing ball foul third base side. 2-1.
Shortly after Dayton Moore, who was the general manager of the Kansas City Royals, came over from the Atlanta Braves, he made a deal by sending Octavio Dotel to Atlanta, and he brought back Davies in return. Davies, a tremendous minor league pitcher in Atlanta's organization. 25 games over 500. Wow. 49 and 25 in his minor league career. So you can see why Dayton Moore, who was running the minor leagues at that time, scouting department, I should say, had no problem dealing Dotel for Davies.
Ground ball, base hit, left field. Rayburn has a single to start things off in the third. They have a lot of hits already in this game.
Well, it's a fastball right around the belt buckle. And Jason Kendall will call for that pitch quite often against the Tigers. Rayburn able to get on top of it, however.
12 hits already in this game, 8 of those for KC. The Tigers have just picked up their 4th. And here's Johnny Damon, the former Royal. Johnny 1 for 7 in the series. There is no concern that Damon will eventually pick it up. In fact, Johnny was addressing that after the game yesterday. He's not concerned at all about a slow start. He is, after all, a career .288 hitter. And when you delve further into the numbers over his career, Johnny's really done good work here at Comerica Park. Obviously, as a visitor until this year, but he was at .363 in this yard. Here's the 0-1. Bouncing ball hit towards second. This might be 2. Here comes the relay from Betancourt. Safe at first base. He beat it out. Damon with enough speed to foil the double play attempt.
Appeared to be a tailor-made double play. Getz getting the ball to Betancourt. Betancourt with a real strong arm, but outstanding hustle by Johnny Damon. Yeah, Damon is one of those players that right now not swinging the bat all that successfully. So if Jim Leland gives him the steal sign, you know he will try to steal that base. Try to help his club any way he can.
Here is Ordonez. 389 now for Maglio with 3 home runs. It's funny how people were talking about Maglio and his power just disappearing last year. Now he's, all his power is gone now the rest of his career.
Yeah.
Apparently, that assessment is a bit too premature. 3 homers, 8 RBIs for Mags. Davies missing high, 1-1. Last year, Kyle Davies owned the 3rd best road ERA in the American League. He was dynamite away from Kauffman Stadium. He was at 2.66. Rolled foul, 1-2. Well, these are the 2 top teams, at least out of the chute offensively. The Tigers at 293 lead the American League in team average. And the Royals right behind him at 290. Checked his swing and a strike called. Ordonez is out of there.
Hey fans, see the Tigers take on the Minnesota Twins April 27th through 29th and save $5 with the spring ticket deal. All $15 mezzanine seats are just $10. Call 866-66-TIGER or visit tigers.com. That Minnesota Twins team, they're good.
They are indeed. Everybody talks about Maurer and Morneau, and deservedly so, but Denard Span has turned himself into a really good big league hitter.
Kubel can hit too.
He gets no press at all.
Nope, but he can rake. They got a good team.
A couple of changes with J.J. Hardy and Orlando Hudson. Bouncing ball foul, third base side.
Their payroll up to $97 million this year, too.
Yeah, how about that? And Jim Thome, you got to throw him in there. Yeah, their payroll took a severe jump.
Well, they got Jim Thome for Verlander.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Oh, no doubt. No question.
He is really giving Verlander fits. The 1-1 pitch is fouled away, 1-2.
It's also why they made that deal for Carl Pavano last year. Pavano was, when he was pitching for the Cleveland Indians, he just dominated Tigers hitting. So the Minnesota Twins down the stretch made a deal for Pavano, and he pitched well for them down the stretch against the Tigers.
Damon was barely off the bag.
I'd be shocked if Damon ran here, and there are going to be times during the year where when Cabrera's standing in the batter's box, you just can't afford to run and steal the base. It'd be nice to be in scoring position, but the opposing team would just walk Cabrera. They would let him trot down to first base. So not that good of an idea on occasion to run with Cabrera in the batter's box. He won't hit.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Miguel had a double back in the first, his second hit in the series. That straightens him up. 2-2. In fact, Cabrera came into this game second in the American League in on-base percentage at .553. We talked about how the middle of the Tigers lineup has done well, and Carlos Guillen on deck has perked up also. Breaking ball popped him up. First base side for Billy Butler. Stays with it to retire the side. Tigers get a leadoff hit, fail to score, and we go to the fourth. On top of this one, 3-1 is our score. Time now for the AT&T trivia question here this afternoon. And it is, prior to Brandon Inge, who was the last Tiger to hit safely in the team's first 8 games? We'll get you the answer a little bit later on. In the meantime, Chris Getz leads it off for Kansas City. Getz, DeJesus, and Podsetnik. Porcello missing outside. 1 ball and 1 strike on Getz. He popped up back in the second, 0 for 1. Getz one of those guys you want to keep off the bases here for Kansas City. They've got some guys that can steal some bags. In fact, Getz is 25 of 27 in his career. It's over 90%. Loops that one in the air to right field. Maglio on the run. He'll get there. 1 gone. was David DeJesus. This is the 17th career start at Comerica Park for Rick Porcello. Of course, he pitched on opening day here. There's a drag bunt. Going to let it roll, and it's going to go foul. No chance to get to Jesus if that thing stayed fair. 0-1. Rick is 9-3 at Comerica Park in his career with a .386 earned run average. By the way, this game is available in crystal clear high definition on Fox Sports Detroit HD, sponsored by Comcast. No balls and one strike on the longest tenured Royal, David DeJesus.
All things being equal, Trey Hillman would love to have Podsednik at the top of the batting order with DeJesus batting second. But for whatever reason, when he drops DeJesus down in the batting order, he's tried it the last couple of years. DeJesus doesn't perform as well as he does in that leadoff spot. But Podsednik, much more of a true leadoff hitter.
2-1. Well, they've got themselves a nice little combination, at least out of the chute, and DeJesus and Podsednik. 1-2. And setting up Billy Butler, who bats third. That's a pretty good trio at the top of the lineup.
They're off to a good start as well, as you mentioned.
Here's the 2-1 pitch. Bouncing ball left side, out of the reach of Inge, into left field. Yet another base hit for the Royals.
Porcello's getting the ground balls that he needs to get, but the Kansas City Royals, when they do put the ball in play, they're finding some holes.
That one just squeaked through. Now Podsednik. 0 for 2, strikeout and a flyout. Drilled back up the middle into center. Another base hit.
He is on fire.
I would say so, because he is now 7 for 12 in the series. So again, the Royals put up 2 hits in an inning. They've done so in every inning so far in this game. That's why they have 11 hits.
Let's see how he pitches Billy Butler this time up. First time up today, he threw Butler a fastball at 95, and Butler singled sharply up the middle. His second time up, he just showed him one fastball and threw him 3 breaking balls, and he was able to get him to strike out.
Big swing.
Some late action on that 2-seam fastball. If you work where that last pitch was, you're going to get a lot of ground balls. Good pitch. Most young pitchers, when they get themselves into jams, they try to throw harder. Porcello is not one of those guys.
This might be a double play. It's tailor-made. Everett's relay. There you go. A twin killing.
He's got ice water in his veins.
Just in the nick of time. That one goes 4-6-3. 3.5 in the books. Baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is brought to you by AT&T. See what's new at AT&T. Visit AT&T.com for details. GMC, we are professional grade. And by Definite Funeral, die laughing this Friday, April 16th. Carlos Guillen swings on the very first pitch and pops it up a mile high, left side of the infield, and Yuniesky Betancourt hauls it in, one gone. That's going to bring up Brandon Inge, Mario and Pemba, Ron Allen here at the ballpark this afternoon. Carolyn Mrozinski is our producer. Mark Isofano directing our show.
Not all bad to swing the first pitch against Davies when Kendall's behind the plate because you know by and large you're going to get a fastball, but the key, if you're the hitter, you have to make sure that fastball is not above the belt buckle. Make sure it's down.
Brandon Inge looks at a strike. By the way, Rod, speaking of Carolyn, our producer today.
Yes.
Happy birthday out to Leo Mrozinski, Carolyn's grandfather, 90 years old today.
90 years young?
And you know what he wanted for his birthday? Just to be able to watch Tigers baseball today.
How about that?
So Leo up in Traverse City, happy 90th today. Glad to have you tuned in. Brandon Inge waves and misses. And Davies now with a couple of quick outs. That's his fourth strikeout.
He looks good. He's got the four-seam fastball that's anywhere from 92 to 93. He's got some good movement with the sinker. He's thrown some really good breaking balls at different speeds in this game, too, that have kept the Tigers off balance. And an occasional changeup.
Here's Laird. He struck out. And the second.
First 10 games of the year, if you're Trey Hillman, you have to be elated with the starting pitching that you're getting. Davies a couple of starts, Bannister a couple of starts. Greinke is not necessarily Greinke yet, but you don't worry about him. And Hochevar's been very good.
Yeah, we talked about that in Kansas City after just a couple of games this year. And their starters have done a really good job for them. And Hochevar's still young, Greinke's still young, with a Cy Young in his back pocket. Bannister pitched well yesterday. 2-1. The Tigers and the Royals, though, are, as we mentioned, very good hitting clubs. What separates the two teams right now is the Tigers are much better in the pitching column. In fact, the Royals came in today at 5.55 with their team ERA. And only the Angels were higher than them. Three to 1, KC leads. Tigers led 1-0 on a Maglio home run in the first. But it is not held up. And there's a walk for Gerald Laird. First walk of the game for Davies.
Hey fans, all you can eat seats at Comerica Park are now on sale, located in the upper suite level. And seats come with an endless supply of hamburgers, hot dogs, chicken, soft drinks, and more. Call 866-66-TIGER or visit tigers.com for the all-you-can-eat seats.
Sizemore hit a ball deep his first time up to center field that Meyer ran down. Scott 0 for 1. Batting average right now at an even 300. High fly ball center field again. Meyer cruising over to his left. Davies has little trouble here in the fourth. Tigers pick up a walk with Strand man. Will go to the fifth. Guillen, Callaspo, Meyer coming up. Royals on top in this one, 3-1. And once again, our AT&T trivia question prior to Brandon Inge, who was the last Tiger to hit safely in the team's first 8 games of the year. Rondell White back in 2005.
Rock. That's a name from the past.
And one of those, I think, transition players the Tigers had. A big signing for Detroit when they were trying to kind of dig their way out of that 2003 season. They got some veterans to hop aboard, and Rondell White was one of them.
Good teammate was Rondell White.
2-0 on Jose Guillen.
Dangerous count here. And should you throw Guillen a fastball, you know he's looking to do some damage, and it really doesn't have to be that good a pitch. He's a good bad ball hitter, too.
Fouled away. He took himself a rip. 2-1. Royals 10 hits, Tigers 4 hits. Tried to sneak in a breaking ball, missed inside. 3-1. Rick had himself a really good spring camp. In fact, his ERA was 1.21 this spring. Chopped to third base, Inge on the short hop. And it's scooped by Cabrera with a backhand.
You cannot underestimate the value of having a guy over at first base that can help you out when you don't necessarily make a good throw over there. Great hand-eye coordination by Brandon, watching the ball into the gloves. And very seldom will Brandon bounce a throw anyway, but it's nice to have a Cabrera over there learning how to pick those balls out of the dirt.
Inge makes that short hop play look extremely easy.
He creates bad hops for himself, and then when he gets to the ball, they're not really bad hops for him.
Here's Callaspo, and he looks at the ball. Single and a ground out for Callaspo. He was batting 6th in Trey Hillman's lineup yesterday. He's up to 5th today. Shoots one in the air to right field for Maglio. 2 gone. Here's Mitch Meyer, who is 0 for 2. Mentioned Porcello had a great spring. How about Meyer? He hit .475 this spring, which led all of baseball.
And he only has 5 at-bats so far this season.
Skies this one to left.
You can lose it when you don't play.
Johnny Damon under it. And that is that. A 9-pitch inning. You're watching Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit, presented by Bell Tires. Baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is brought to you by the Ramani Eye Institute, the most trusted name in eye care, and by your neighborhood Spartan store. For locations, visit turntospartan.com. Back here at Comerica Park, home to the Old English D, where it's 3-1 in favor of the Royals this afternoon. Tigers batting in the 5th, and Adam Everett leads it off. He'll be followed by Ryan Rayburn and Johnny Damon. Everett line one to right field. His first time up, 0 for 1. Kyle Davies, 55 pitches through the first 4 innings. And he's been really good. He gave up that home run to Maglio Ordonez in the first.
Pretty efficient with his first pitch strikes today as well. 13 of 18, the Tigers batters through 4 innings.
Here's that matchup we were talking about in the pregame show. These are a couple of guys that hail from Georgia, Everett and Kyle Davies. They both played for the East Cobb program, which has produced a ton of big league players. Davies went on to be drafted by his hometown team, the Atlanta Braves, and is now here in KC. Meanwhile, Everett turned out to be a #1 pick.
It's kind of like that Florida organization that Clete Thomas played for, with Billy Butler, Zach Greinke, and some other really good young players.
2-2 pitch is rolled foul.
Billingsley of the Dodgers also played. James Loney played for that same organization in Florida. You brought it up. There's some hotbeds around. Georgia's one, Florida's another, California, of course, Florida. Your warmer spots where you can play baseball year-round.
Whistled fair. Right by the bag at third base. Everett rounding first. He's headed to second. He's in with a double.
Davies has got that natural sink with his 2-seam fastball. Even though the velocity is 92, 93 as a hitter. And we've watched Inge do it today. Now we've watched Everett do it. All you have to do is drop the bat head. Bat head goes straight down, and he finds that ball fair territory down the third baseline.
Everett has his first hit. The Tigers have their 5th of the game. They've had 3 doubles and a homer in this game, along with the Rayburn single. Ryan 1 for 2. Missed it inside. No, it didn't. It hit him. Rayburn hit by the pitch, just grazed apparently, and that'll put 2 Tigers aboard. Get him on the forearm. Elbow.
It's a changeup.
Here's Damon now with 2 men on. Tigers have the tying runs on the bases.
Royals infielders, at least the corner infielders, anticipating a bunt from Damon.
And he's showing it. That double by Adam Everett now gives the Tigers 10 two-base hits in this series.
Well, if you're Damon, obviously you have to bunt this ball down toward third base because Butler, the first baseman, he's about 15 feet in front of first base. You don't want to bunt in his direction.
One ball, 1 strike on Damon. Johnny 0 for 2 in this game. And Damon once again has another chance for his 1,000th big league RBI.
That's a lot of ribbies.
2-1. Well, Damon has over 2,400 career hits. I mentioned he was a career .288 hitter. Davies in some hot water here in the 5th. A double and a hit pattern. Damon, as a youngster, bounced around a lot. His father was a sergeant in the Army, so they lived in Japan for a time, in West Germany as well, before they finally settled in the Orlando, Florida area, where Johnny grew up, went to high school. Line drive, fair ball, right field line. This will get a run in. Everett will score on the play. Damon goes to second, and there's RBI number 1,000 in his career. Johnny Damon makes it 3-2.
Johnny has a lot of movement in that batter's box, and he's gotten off to a slow start because he has glided with his body, and when he glides with his body, his hands don't stay back. But in that particular swing, he stayed back, which allowed the hands to get in an area where he could fire the hands, and he whistled that ball down in the right field corner. Let's take one more look at it. He gets out there, but the hands stay back. Now the hands come forward. That's a lot more bat speed than he had been generating here in the few games he played here at Comerica Park. Just a little minor adjustment there by Johnny Damon.
And that gives him his 4th RBI of the year. Tigers in good shape now with runners at second and third, nobody out. And Detroit posting yet another double, 2 more in this inning. Here's Maglio Ordonez. Tigers today not waiting for the bullpen. For an uprising, trying to get to Davies. Ball inside, 1-0.
Well, Maglio right here with a ground ball to the right side of the infield more than likely scores Rayburn from third, and he gets Damon over to third base with only 1 out for Miguel Cabrera. Miguel may not hit, but Maglio wants to get the job done. Get him over, get him in.
1 ball, 1 strike. Here's the big fellow lurking on deck. 3 and 4 in the Tigers lineup in the early goings has been as good as any duo in the American League.
Both guys have had very nice careers, and no reason to believe that they can't continue to swing the bats the way they've swung the bats here. First 10 games of the year.
They've had 17 RBIs between them.
Davies really trying to crowd Maglio Ordonez with firm fastballs in the mid-90s because he knows that Maglio's trying to hit a ground ball towards second base. Maglio doing a nice job of laying off that borderline pitch inside.
3-1. 3-1 pitch. Fouled back out of play. 3-2 on Ordonez. Inning started with a double by Everett. Rayburn hit by a pitch. Damon doubles in a run for his 4th RBI of the year. Fouled away. Four times already this season, the Tigers have had 4 doubles in a game. That's why they have come in as the best hitting team in the American League in terms of average, at least 293. And they lead the league in doubles with 23 of them already. He walked it. Still nobody out. And a bases loaded situation for Cabrera. Two grand slams in his career and a .440 average with the bases full. Tigers had the tying run at third, go ahead run at second. Ball 1.
Cabrera has already homered 3 times against Davies in his career. And we're not talking about a lot of plate appearances either. So he sees the baseball very well against Kyle Davies.
1 ball, 1 strike on Miguel.
But there aren't many pitchers in the National League or the American League that Cabrera does not see the ball well against.
The numbers this early in his career really are astounding, and we've documented it in the past. I mean, numbers that you compare to the giants of the game like Hank Aaron,
Pujols, A-Rod, Manny, some of the best right-handed hitters that have played the game of baseball. Cabrera's numbers are favorable first 6 years of their career.
Meanwhile, he is rolled ahead in the count here. 2 balls, 1 strike. Activity in their bullpen. Robinson, Tejeda. Bouncing ball to short. There's one. Gets his relay. Is in time. The double play. And boy, did Davies need that. The tying run will score. No RBI for Cabrera. 2 gone. 6-4-3.
It's a good pitch by Davies. Take a look at the location. It's a breaking ball that's on the outside part of the plate. You can see Cabrera hits the ball right off the end of the bat because he's pulling off of it. And usually when you pull off the baseball, it's right to the shortstop for the 6-4-3 double play. Pulled that front shoulder off the baseball just a hair, did Cabrera.
So here's Guillen with the go-ahead run at third base. 3-3 game. Tigers have come back to tie it up.
I know Brandon Inge is off to a sizzling start, but with a base open and a runner on third base and 2 outs, if you're Davies, you've got to be awfully careful with Carlos Guillen. It'd be awfully hard to explain to your manager why you allowed him to get a base hit in this situation with a right-hander in the on-deck circle.
Hammered toward left field, but Setnik is there to retire the side. So the Tigers will settle for a couple, but they tie it up as we go to the 6th inning. 3-3 game. Have come back to tie it up. 3-3 is our score, and Rick Porcello back to the hill, facing the bottom 3 in the lineup for the Kansas City Royals. Jason Kendall leads it off, and then it's Yuniesky Betancourt and Chris Getz. Kendall 2 more hits today, both singles. He also has an RBI and a run scored. Swing and a miss. It really is amazing, Rod, how many games and how many innings he's caught already this year.
I don't think he's taken a day off. He's caught all 6 games that we have played against Kansas City so far this year. And the one night game that the Tigers had in Kansas City, he caught the next day, which was a day game.
The 0-2 is lifted in the air. Center field. Ryan Rayburn is there.
Well, what is Comcast telling us about Porcello's fastball today? 97 it is telling us he touched today, and as low as 78 with that change piece.
You buying 97?
Well, I hadn't seen it from him in his brief career, but he may have it in his tank. He's not yet growing yet. He has not fully matured yet.
Here's a ball to Unieski Betancourt.
And although he won 14 games last year, which led all rookies, we're not looking at the finished product.
Here's the 1-0. That's a foul ball. And that statement right there is a pretty exciting statement. I mean, if a kid can come to the big leagues and pitch in as many big games as he did last year and win 14 of them, and he's got more to give. Boy.
He's got more in his tank.
Only 21. And, you know, I think it just goes to show the importance the Tigers have placed on pitching in rebuilding their organization. They've gotten Verland to the big leagues, Zamaya to the big leagues, Porcello, and guys like Crosby and Turner on the horizon, and Oliver as well.
Whenever there's a big arm out there, they will go get it. And that is something that David Dombrowski has done since a very young general manager in Montreal. Young, power arms, athletic players.
Here's Dave, who has watched his team get off to a really good start. Restructuring his team a little bit in the offseason with some of the changes. And Dave told us in spring training that, you know, it just got to the point where we needed to get a little bit more young, or younger, I should say, and more athletic. And I think the Tigers have done that a little bit. Sizemore and Austin Jackson.
Their starting rotation is the youngest in the major leagues.
True.
Just a shade over 25 years old.
Chris Getz batting with 2 outs. Porcello gave up an RBI single to Kendall in the 3rd and nothing after that. He's picked up a double play ball. Finding a rhythm now. 2-1 on Getz. Getz today is 0 for 2. Pop up and a fly ball. Ground ball right side. Sizemore gobbles it up. 1-2-3 inning for Rick Porcello. They go to the bottom of the 6th.
Freeze cam, and it's time for the Coors Light 6th inning, and it's time for the Coors Light freeze cam. It's a changeup inside that Rayburn couldn't get out of the way of. Nicked his elbow, and he trotted down to first base, and Tigers went on to score a couple of runs in that inning. Coors Light freeze cam, always brought to you by your frost brewed Coors Light.
Well, we're still tied at 3. Ryan Rayburn in this game with that hit by pitch kind of set up that 5th inning, and he came around to score a run. Inge takes the ball down low. Brandon 1 for 2 with a double. His hot start continues. The average at 353. Ball high.
You know, we were kind of wondering what kind of production we were going to get out of the latter third of the Tigers' batting order. But Brandon has really stepped up and has done a nice job. Sizemore has held his own at the bottom of the batting order. Laird has shown some flashes that he's coming out of his early season struggles. But you definitely need the bottom third, fourth of your order to help you out, because Maglio and Miguel, those guys aren't going to get it done all year.
3-0 pitch. There's ball 4. Well, right now, let's send it back to the studio. And Ryan Fields standing by with an update. Ryan? All right, Ryan, thank you. Here it is 3-3 as we play in the bottom of the 6th and a leadoff walk, the third of the game for Davies.
It's a bunting situation here for the Tigers with Laird in the batter's box. Of course, Jim used Laird in that fashion quite often last year, whether it be the sacrifice bunt, the hit and run, the squeeze play. Jim showed a tremendous amount of confidence in the way that Laird could handle the bat in the small game. Callaspo down at third base is not looking for a bunt at all. So if you're Laird, you may take the luxury of bunting for a base hit, at least on one pitch down in that direction.
I'm with you.
Callaspo will not make the play.
And he bunts it to first, but foul. 0-1 on Gerald Laird, who walked in the 4th inning and struck out in the 2nd.
That's a situation where, even though you're taught as a player with a runner on first base and the first baseman has a responsibility of holding that base runner on, you want to bunt in that direction. You want him to make the play. But Callaspo at third was so deep. I thought maybe Laird would bunt one in that direction.
You going to bunt again?
I would bunt one more time. I try to get that run on the board. Porcello more than likely is out of this game. I try to get Porcello a win here if I'm Jim Leland.
Porcello 96 pitches through 6 innings, but there is activity in the Tigers bullpen. See if Laird is bunting on 0-1. He is, and Davies misses high and inside.
It's a good pitch by Davies. Davies thought he was bunting as well. And a lot of times when pitchers know that the bunt situation is in order, they will elevate the fastball, trying to get the hitter to pop it up. Laird wasn't having any of that.
Two and one.
Now it gets interesting. And now you can do a couple of different things if you want to get tricky and if you want to get creative if you're Jim. Predictable fastball count. You can let Laird swing the bat. You could start Inge on the pitch. Or you can simply keep the bunt sign on and keep it safe.
Popped it up. Foul ground first base side, and Butler hauls it in. So they let him swing away, and he pops up to the first baseman. Runner holds at first base. That'll bring up Scott Sizemore. 0 for 2 with a pair of fly balls, or a fly ball and a strikeout for Sizemore. Runner back. Correct Sizemore. He did have 2 fly balls. 1 in the 2nd and 1 in the 4th. 0 for 2. Got 6 hits on this homestand. Bouncing ball hit to third. Callaspo, his second one. Here comes the relay from Getz. There's your double play, and Davies has gotten a couple of big ones in the last 2 innings. 5-4-3.
The Red Wings' quest for the Stanley Cup begins tonight when they score off against the Phoenix Coyotes in Game 1 of the Western Conference quarterfinals. Our coverage begins at 9:30 with Red Wings Live, followed by the game at 10 p.m. Red Wings playoff hockey presented by Bell Tire tonight on Fox Sports Detroit and in high def on Fox Sports Detroit HD.
Well, Rick Porcello's afternoon is over. He went 6 innings in this one, 10 hits, 3 runs.
You think John Keating is about poolside about right now out in the desert?
Out in Phoenix? Oh, yeah. In the valley, he's just chilling right now. Good luck to the Winds. Wallside Windows pitching change. Ryan Perry is on now for Detroit.
Ryan Perry has been sensational in the 4 games that he has pitched this year. Lots of strikes with his fastball, which allows him to get to his slider and his slider. And when he grips it just right and gets to that real good arm slide, it's got some nice tilt and depth to the pitch.
Ball 1.
It's a pitch that they sent him down to the minor leagues to really work on last year. Didn't stay down there very long, but once he gets that slider and is able to throw his slider more consistently for strikes and get more swings and misses, he will be even more valuable to that Tigers bullpen.
2-0. David DeJesus, Scott Podsednik, and Billy Butler here in the 7th. Tigers led 1-0, fell behind 3-1, and then tied it up with 2 in the 5th. DeJesus has had a big day and a big series. 6 hits in the series, but a double to knock in 2 back in the 2nd. Ball low. 3-1. There's ball 4. Leadoff man is on. 3rd time today that DeJesus has reached. By the way, vote for your Tigers McDonald's player of the game today. Using your cell phone, text Tigers followed by a space and the player's uniform number to 37338. That's FSDET. See the final results at the end of the game and check your text response for special offers from McDonald's. Skipper comes charging out of the dugout.
Well, Jim knows the bunt's in order, and he just wants to make sure that first and foremost, Ryan Perry throws strikes. And he's also giving some instructions to his defenders as to how they want to play this. Just get an out, really. is probably the message that he's giving to his team. With a guy like Podsednik, who is such a great bunter, you have to make sure you get at least one out if that's exactly what you're doing.
First walk for Tigers pitching today, and it comes from the bullpen. Podsednik single for 3 today. He drags a bunt down the first base line. Cabrera has it. That'll move the runner up. Podsednik is out. Go ahead run in scoring position now, and that sets up Billy Butler. I was talking to Brandon Inge before the game yesterday, and he said Podsednik is a really smart guy and a smart baseball player. He said he noticed that I would curl toward the line in bunting situations. He said he could see Podsednik looking at me, and he realized that my first move is toward the line so I can get a better angle on a ball that might be bunted toward me. And Podsednik, in that very at-bat, they kind of slapped the ball to Inge's left. And they got on with an infield base hit. Butler looks at a strike 0-1, but he said, you know, it's guys like that that really make good hitters. Pay attention to where the defenders are. And notice little nuances.
He takes advantage of his speed. There are some fast guys in the big leagues that just do not utilize their speed the way that they should. Podsednik's not one of those guys. He knows what his game is.
That'll get away from Laird, and Jesus moves up. So that'll work for the Royals. They advance the man to third base now with 1 out.
And they may just put Butler on, play for a double play here, or they may bring the infield in. There's a couple of things that Jim could do. And I guess the reason why you may not want to walk Butler here is the guy in the on-deck circle. Guillen has been sizzling hot.
They rule that a wild pitch. Infield coming in for Detroit. Butler has a rip. 1-2.
Take a look at the depth on this slider from Ryan Perry. Can't make a better pitch than this.
High fly ball into shallow right field. Maglio lining it up. DeJesus tagging up. He's going to try and score. Here comes the throw to the plate. In plenty of time. Oh, he dropped the baseball. Laird dropped the ball. They had DeJesus by about 5 feet. And a break for the Royals.
Maglio set himself perfectly. He knew that DeJesus would challenge him. He threw it all the way on the fly. And it didn't look like Laird had the ball cleanly in his glove when he made contact with DeJesus. Therefore, the ball just fell to the ground.
And the Royals take a 4-3 lead.
Laird never had that ball in the glove.
Jose Guillen, the batter. Strong throw from the right fielder Ordonez. The ball was a shallow fly ball. Maglio put it on target. Here's the 0-1. Tipped into the glove. 0-2 on Jose Guillen. A couple more hits today, so his average pumps up to 343. Driven deep in the air to left. This one is way back, and that one is way gone. Jose Guillen is on fire.
Perry tried to sneak a 97-mile-per-hour fastball by Guillen in an 0-2 count. And Guillen hit an absolute missile out of here.
He hasn't hit very many cheapies this year. That's his 5th home run of the season. His 5th in his last 4 games.
0-2 fastball above the belt buckle. He somehow gets on top of and tomahawks it out of here. That is pure strength.
It's also his 200th career home run.
That's quite a milestone.
They say that one went 403 feet. 2-run lead for the Royals.
Turned out to be a huge play at home plate.
Yeah, kept the inning going, aside from scoring the run. There's a bullet off the glove of Cabrera into right field. Callaspo is on again. He has 2 hits today. Here's Mitch Meyer. Five runs on 12 Royals hits today. 3 runs on 6 Detroit hits. Ball outside, 1-0. Meyer got some pretty good playing time last year. Appeared in 127 games, the most that he has appeared in his career. But with the addition of Rick Ankiel to their outfield this year, and Scott Podsednik as well, Meyer hasn't gotten too many at-bats to start this season.
Well, you brought it up the last time he was up. He hit 475 in spring training, which was the best in all of baseball. Then all of a sudden the season starts, and just 5 at-bats in the last 2 weeks. You're going to cool off.
And Meyer is 0 for 6 to start the season. That'll go foul.
That's why some managers take the luxury of early in a season for that reason alone. Guys like Meyer, guys like Rayburn on the Tiger side, your role players like Kelly, those guys play just about every day in spring training. And as a manager, once the season starts, if you don't give them consistent playing reps, then they're going to lose that swing. That's why you try to get everybody in action early as you possibly can. Keep guys fresh early.
Phil Koch warming up in the Detroit bullpen. There's a walk. Second walk in the inning for Perry.
Hey, Tigers fans, this season it's easier than ever to find the seats you want or sell tickets to the games you can't make. On StubHub, the official fan-to-fan ticket marketplace of the Detroit Tigers, go to StubHub.com and choose your seats today.
Sunshiny afternoon here at the ballpark. 61 degrees right now. And the Royals have broken the tie. They lead 5-3 here in the 7th. Kendall's had a good day. 2 hits and an RBI. He's hit safely in 9 straight to start the campaign. Checked it foul. 1 ball, 1 strike. Callaspo, the runner at second base. They've got Meyer at first with 2 away. One and 2. For Kendall today, game number 1916 that he's caught at the big league level. That is 10th all time in Major League history. Rolls this one left side of the infield. Everett, and he's not going to get him at second base. Now they got the runner hung up between third and home. That's Callaspo. They'll run him back and make the tag, so that works out. Sizemore with a nice play. Side retired. 2 runs in, though. We go to the stretch. Royals have the lead. This afternoon, the Royals have now taken the lead on the Tigers. Ordonez with a home run in the first inning, a solo shot. Johnny Damon recording the 1,000th RBI of his career. And Jose Guillen hitting his 200th career home run. Some of the highlights of this game today. The Tigers down 5-3. Meanwhile, Kyle Davies going back to the hill. His pitch count still in decent shape. It's been helped up by 2 double plays, 1 in each of the last 2 innings. Adam Everett leads it off. Everett is 1 for 2, had a double, scored a run, and the Tigers 2-run fifth. And that was really one of the biggest innings in this game because the Tigers had the bases loaded with Miguel Cabrera up there, and he bounced into a double play, which dug Davies out of a hole. Ground ball, foul outside of the bag at third. It's just about the same spot that Everett's double went the last time he led off an inning in the fifth. Tiger pitching today has allowed 13 Royals hits. Swing and a miss. Kendall completes the strikeout. One out, back up to the top now, Ryan Rayburn. Davies now with 5 strikeouts. Rayburn on base twice today, hit by a pitch, singled, and scored a run. Skies this one in the air. It's into left field. That's Sednick coming in. And finally nestles into his glove. 2 gone. Now Johnny Damon. Well, here at the ballpark today, 19,262 on a gorgeous afternoon at a gorgeous ballpark. Heather Nabozny and her crew had this place looking like it was the middle of July on opening day. Even though the chilly weather, it was field in great shape. Always looking outstanding. 1-0 pitch is a strike on Damon. 1-1. Johnny had an RBI double in the fifth. 1 for 3. Slices that one foul. 1-2 on Damon. Two and two. Tigers have an off day tomorrow. Then it's off to the West Coast, where they will play
the struggling Seattle Mariners.
And then the Angels and the Rangers. In fact, the Tigers will have their West Coast travel done by the end of May, which is a good thing. The only bad thing about this upcoming trip is night games on getaway days, which is going to make for some late, or whatever way you look at it, early morning arrivals to the next town. Little chopper back up the middle. Gets from second base. Not in time. He pulled Butler off the bag anyway. Damon has his second hit.
Damon running out of that batter's box on contact, and really no play for Getz. The only play that he could have made is coming in barehanding that ball, but he tried to field it with a glove and then exchange to the throwing in hand. And by the time you do all that, it's too late.
And it looks like Trey Hellman will go to the bullpen. So Davies will be done after 99 pitches. It's a pitching change here at Comerica Park. Royals go to the pen, and we'll step aside. The score 5-3 KC. Bottom of the 7th inning. Time now for the Coors Light cold hard blast, and it comes courtesy of Maglio back in the first. It sounded good. And for Maglio, his 3rd home run of this campaign, and now he's up there as the tying run. John Parrish, the left-hander, will come in to face him. Ordonez on base twice in this game. And a ball high, 1-0. So the Royals bullpen will get yet another chance to try and preserve a victory here as you look at the numbers on Parrish.
It's not often you'll bring a left-hander in to face a dangerous hitter like Maglio Ordonez, but Trey Hillman must feel like the Parrish changeup will negate the awesome start that Maglio is off to this year.
1-1.
Come on, man. Do it, baby.
Ordonez has 14 hits, good for 2nd in the American League. Three and 1. So Parrish now playing with fire, falling behind Ordonez with Cabrera waiting in the on-deck circle. He lost it. Ball 4. Now the tying runs are on. And it's another opportunity for Miguel Cabrera, who batted with the bases loaded back in the 5th, hit into a double play.
Kansas City Royals pitching has walked 24 Tigers this year already.
Yikes. Checked it. Looked like he went around. They will appeal. No, he held up.
That is a lot of free passes.
Well, when you look at the Royals pitching numbers, a 5.55 ERA is 2nd from last in the American League in that category.
There's a breakdown. Starters and relievers. Starters have held their own.
Two 2-0. Kendall calls time, heads out to the mound. Parrish, former property of the Baltimore Orioles, the organization that he broke in with in the big leagues. Pitched quite a few years for Baltimore. From 2000 through 2007. Of course, a couple of those years he was injured. Fouled back out of play. 2-1 on Cabrera.
And Miguel may have expanded his strike zone there on the 2-0 fastball from Parrish. That ball looked like it was up and off the plate, but not all bad. I mean, for your guys that drive in runs in that count to expand the strike zone just a little bit.
Pulled foul. Look out, Gene Lamont. He's already been hit once on this homestand.
Yeah, he's in a dangerous spot right now. Dangerous spot.
Of course, the third base coaches these days wear the helmets. Mike Coolbaugh, a couple of years ago, was killed in a minor league game in the coaching box when he was hit by a line drive, prompting the Major League Baseball now to have their coaches wear helmets. Ground ball to third, and it's scooped up there by Callaspo, and that is that for Detroit. So the Tigers fail to score. We'll go to the 8th. You're watching Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit, presented by Bell Tire. In this one as we go to the top of the 8th inning, and here is our Home Depot doing more on defense play of the game. It's Brandon Inge who made another really good short hop pick down there at third. That came against Jose Guillen in the 5th inning. Inge makes this play look easy. And our Home Depot doing it more on defense play of the game.
Are you a big Home Depot guy?
Big Home Depot.
No, seriously. I mean, are you good enough to go in there and get some stuff and do some stuff around the house?
Oh, no. I rely on the folks at Home Depot to install my stuff that I go in there and buy.
I got no shot.
No shot either.
Now, my wife, however, she will go in there and get some stuff, and whatever she goes to get, she will take care of the needs in the house. Yeah, I'm no good at that kind of stuff.
So Adrian's pretty handy.
Yeah, she puts together all the electronic stuff, all that kind of stuff.
Likewise with my wife, Kathy.
I got no shot.
Everything. If it was up to me, we'd have no TV.
I get lost in the directions. I start looking at the directions, and I'm like, wait a minute now.
Phil Koch is in for the Tigers, his 5th appearance. At least you opened the directions. I don't even get that far. That's pulled down the left field line. Base hit. And Betancourt has a single. Fourteen hits now for KC today.
I would not be shocked to see Getz bunt to Betancourt down in the scoring position to get DeJesus up there with a runner in scoring position. Trey Hillman knows the kind of baseball that he needs to play with his team to win games. And Getz is one of those guys that bunts.
Ball 1 on Getz. 0 for 3. And now 0 for 7 in this 3-game set.
Dave Owen, third base coach for Trey Hillman. When Trey Hillman first took over the managerial reins, and Dave Owen was his bench coach the first year.
And here's a bunt. This time he lays it down fair. Koch throws it in the dirt and throws it away, but it's backed up nicely by Sizemore.
I kind of like what Trey allows his guys, his table sitters, to do in bunting situations. We've already watched Pasegna today in a bunting situation last half inning, bunting for a base hit only to get a sacrifice. And Getz here is also bunting for a base hit. You could see he was running out of the batter's box, and he just wasn't giving himself up, and he gets a base hit out of it. A nice backup job there by Sizemore.
So 5 Royals have multi-hit games today. 5 of them. Guillen has 3 hits. Kendall, DeJesus, Callasco, and Betancourt. Also have multiple hit games. They're piling up now, 15 hits. DeJesus showing bunt, ball outside, 1-0. Two for three for David DeJesus, doubled in 2 runs back in the second, walked and scored in the 7th. Here's a bunt, third base side, foul. Runners aboard are Betancourt and Getz. Huge inning here for Koch, trying to keep this a 2-run spread. Tigers have had to come back a lot this year. They will have to do it again today after going ahead early on a home run by Ordonez. 1-2, so DeJesus unable to lay the bunt down. Not very often you see a manager keep the bunt sign on with 2 strikes. DeJesus taking a look down at third.
Especially the way they've been swinging the bat this year with 2 strikes and runners in scoring position. They've done a very nice job with 2 strikes and with 2 outs of Kansas City batters this year.
And they put the bunt on, and he'll bunt it foul, and he's out. So Trey Hillman allowed him to bunt with 2 strikes.
That's the reason why not many do it.
Give Koch a strikeout. Well, they gave DeJesus 3 shots. He wasn't able to do it, so the runners hold. Now the red-hot Podsednik. He was able to lay down a sacrifice back in the 7th. Strike 1 in the outside corner. Betancourt led the inning off with a single. Getz reaching as well with a bunt base hit. But Sednick bending away that time. 1-1. Phil Koch coming over from the New York Yankees.
Phil Koch will be getting a World Series ring here sometime soon.
Lifted in the air, shallow center field. And that ball will drop, base hit. Betancourt had to watch it fall, so he goes to third and stops there.
It really does not matter what Podsednik does these days. Whenever he swings the bat, it just seems to fall in somewhere for him.
2 more hits today for Podsednik. And the Royals just keep rolling up that hit column. It's 16 now.
Well, they had 18 a couple of days ago.
Man. And look at these series numbers. 616 is his average this series. Now they set up Billy Butler with the bases loaded, 1 out.
Here's one of those plays where your middle infielders will play for 2. But if the ball is not hit sharply toward first or third, Inge and Cabrera will come home for the 4th play. Middle infielders at double play depth.
He's 16 hits, a season high for the Royals. Their previous high was 15 on April the 12th.
So they didn't have 18 the other day.
Tigers had 18.
Tigers had 18.
Yeah. With 18 left, I think, right?
Well, we left 18 too the day we had 18 hits.
1 ball, 1 strike on Butler. Driven high in the air, left center field. Rayburn cruising over. This will be deep enough to score the run. Throw coming to third base, and not in time. Both runners move up. Betancourt scores. Butler picks up his second RBI today.
This run, I'm talking about Pasetnik's run, and not really all that important. But in that situation, if you're Rayburn and you got Getz running from second base, he runs too well. You're not going to throw him out, so you simply throw that ball to second base, which keeps Pasetnik at first.
6-3 game.
Do you think if Pasetnik would have stayed at first base, they still would have walked again intentionally?
You know what? It's an interesting question, and my mind tells me no, but I guess when you think about it, they just might have. I mean, that's how good he is going. He has 3 hits today, including a home run.
Well, what they're going to do is turn the switch hitter Kayaspo around to his right side. But he's a 300 hitter. Talking about Kayaspo, the guy in the on-deck circle. And he doesn't strike out very often. Interesting, though. If Pasetnik stays at first, I wonder if they still walk again intentionally. They may have pitched around him.
Right.
But this makes it easy for them to do.
And there is ball 4, the intentional walk, and Kayaspo will step in now. The base is full. Action in the Detroit bullpen. Eddie Bonine. Kayaspo today 2 hits.
Kayaspo was a pleasant surprise last year for the Kansas City Royals. When the season began, he was not in the starting lineup. Aviles went on the disabled list. That kind of opened the door for Kayaspo to get more plate appearances. And boy, did he have a good year. 300 last year for Kayaspo.
High towering fly ball left field. It's going to be playable for Johnny Damon. And that is that for the Royals. They get an insurance run, though, as we go to the bottom of the 8th with Comerica. Tigers now down 6-3. Stability since 1849. Wallside Windows, for a free in-home estimate, call 1-800-521-7800. And by Bell Tire. Get the best tire price, period. Bell Tire. Tigers down by 3. Carlos in this ball game is 0 for 3. Parrish. And it's driven foul down the left field line. Close. No Seagar though. 1-2. Got some changes defensively for the Royals. Mitch Meyer slides over to left field, and the new center fielder is Rick Ankiel. Meyer, Ankiel, DeJesus now left center to right. 1-2 on Carlos Guillen. Pulls that one foul as well. 7 Detroit hits today, and a good many of them for extra bases. The Maglio homer. Tigers have had a boatload of doubles. Inge has one. Damon has one. Cabrera also with a 2-base hit. Here's the 1-2. Swing and a miss. Struck him out. Kendall will tag Guillen. 1 gone.
Hey fans, visit the official online shop of the Detroit Tigers at Tigers.com. Browse the largest selection of authentic Tigers merchandise, including clubhouse caps, t-shirts, jerseys, sweatshirts, and more. Get your Tigers gear straight from the source at the Tigers.com shop.
1 gone for Brandon Inge. Inge a 2-base hit back in the second. 353 batting average right now. And for Brandon, he's hit safely in all 9 this year. 1-1. Travel day tomorrow for the ball club. Seattle series starts Friday night. Don't forget the Friday night game can be seen on Fox Sports Detroit Plus. Rolled foul, 1-2. King Felix will be awaiting the Tigers in that first game. Felix Hernandez and Jeremy Bonderman square off. Bonderman back in his home area of Washington. Rolled foul.
Pasco, Washington, isn't it?
That is correct.
I'm sure he'll probably have lots of family and friends in attendance, as he always does.
There's Jeremy. Here's the 1-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. He tried to hold, and he did. Ryan Onora says you're still alive.
And Parrish must have a good breaking ball today, because the right-handers that he has seen in this game today, they've all check swung on that exact same pitch. And they must have a difficult time of picking that pitch up.
Three-2. Fouled straight back. Tigers got 1 in the first. They got 2 in the 5th. They were down by a couple of runs and tied it up in that 5th inning, but the Royals Getting 2 in the 7th, 1 in the 8th. Trying to take 2 out of 3 from Detroit and return the favor in this series. And there's ball 4. Tigers get a base runner. Well, we're in the home stretch for the 2010 census. It's not too late. Fill out and mail back your census form today. Only 10 questions, only 10 minutes. Crowd enjoying some sunshine today. It's been out all day long. 19,000 plus here at the ballpark. Here's Gerald Laird. Ball 1. And time called now, and we'll get a visit to the mound. Parrish walked Hinge, and now he has fallen behind Laird.
Hey fans, our next April and D Tigers telecast is Friday when they visit the Seattle Mariners. Please note that the game has been shifted to Fox Sports Detroit Plus. Coverage begins at 9:30 with Tigers Live, followed by the game at 10 o'clock. We've listed some of the Plus channel numbers here. For a complete list, click on the channel finder at foxsportsdetroit.com.
April in the D, a whole lot going on. Of course, the Red Wings starting tonight out in Phoenix. One 1-0 on Gerald Laird. 6-3 KC. We're in the bottom of the 8th. One ball, 1 strike on Laird. Gerald today is 0 for 2 with a walk. A couple of hits to get on the board in this series. His first 2 hits of the year. Here's the 1-1. Down the left field line, it is hooking, and back of the seats it goes. Temperature in the 60s today. Tiger fans enjoying some matinee baseball here as they wind up the homestand under clear skies. Two balls, 2 strikes on Laird. Last year, Gerald hit .225. The year before that in Texas, he was at .276. Of course, last year, Laird picked up more at-bats than he had at any time in his career. Over 400 at-bats, played in 135 games as the Tigers' primary catcher. And he takes another one down low, 3-2.
And defensively last year, Laird was stellar in his first year as the Tigers catcher.
So with 1 out, a runner at first base, 3 balls, 2 strikes on Laird. In the air toward right field. Long run for DeJesus. Still going there to run it down in the gap, and Inge retreats.
Some wind blowing in from right center field today. You got to really hit the ball sharp on the line if you're going to find a gap in that area.
There's your wind.
Yep, blowing in.
Trey Hillman coming out. He's going to make another pitching change here with Sizemore due up, the right-handed batter. And they'll go right back to the bullpen to try and preserve this thing. 6-3 in favor of the Royals. We'll step aside. Another pitching change. We'll be back. Down 6-3 with 2 outs, and Trey Hellman has no thoughts of letting this one slip away. He has gone to his bullpen. He's brought in his closer, Joaquin Soria.
Second time this year against the Tigers, at least, that Soria has come on to try to get a save in the 8th inning. He was not as fortunate in Kansas City when Big Miguel Cabrera took him deep to tie the game. Tigers went on to win that ball game.
Soria's 3rd appearance. He's out of Monclova, Mexico.
He's got an assortment of different pitches. Most closers have a fastball and usually one other pitch, whether it be a slider or whether it be a changeup. But Soria has them all: fastball, slider, change, curve, different arm slots, and throws lots of strikes. 30 saves last year for Soria for the 2nd consecutive season.
Sizemore takes the ball down low, and it's 2-0. Scott today's 0 for 3. Bounced into a double play his last time. That was in the 6th inning. Here's the 2-0. 3-0. Everett due next. 3-0 pitch. There's ball 4. He walked Sizemore on 4 straight, and now we'll get a pinch hitter. Don Kelly has picked up a bat. Outside corner, and Kelly is caught looking to end the inning. Tigers strand a pair. We go to the 9th. For the ninth, it is a 6-3 score. Kansas City is leading the Tigers. It's going to be interesting to see, Rob, how, as you look at Santiago taking over at short, how Minnesota will play to their new home ballpark, because there is no question they had a huge advantage at the Metrodome.
That much is true, and I think they've taken some steps to help themselves by going out and adding a little bit of power. Talked about Tomey. We'll get some at-bats at that DH position. They got a new shortstop in Hardy, also second baseman Orlando Hudson. And them M&M boys, I don't care where you put those boys. You can put them on the moon. They're still going to hit.
I'm not going to argue with that. Mitch Meyer leads it off, facing Phil Koch.
But I do think that the numbers that they were able to post last year from an offensive standpoint in the comfy confines of the Metrodome, those numbers will go down some.
Here's the 0-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. 0-2 on Meyer. Yeah, you would think that would be the case. But you're absolutely right about those two guys, though. You'll take them anywhere. Meyer, then Kendall, then Betancourt. Royals lead by 3 with a chance to take 2 out of 3 from the Tigers. High fly ball, right field. Ordonez coming toward the line. Koch came on in the 8th inning, gave up a run. And back out there for the 9th. Here's Kendall. Three more hits today for Jason Kendall.
Jason Kendall really was not brought to Kansas City for his offense. He was brought to Kansas City to help out a very young pitching staff. And early returns on the investment very good for Kendall. The starting pitchers have done very well. The bullpen guys have struggled for Kansas City. And Jason off to a very good start offensively himself.
0-2.
I had a chance to coach Jason back in 1994. He was just a youngster, of course, a young minor league player. And I was the hitting coach for the Chandler Diamondbacks in the Arizona Fall League. And Jason Kendall was one of the 3 catchers that we had on that team, along with Marcus Jensen and also Charles Johnson.
Wow.
All three were number 1 picks. It was hard getting guys playing time on that team.
I can imagine.
Jeter was the shortstop on that team. It's a good team.
You guys must have won a bunch of games.
Well, I mean, the league was good. I mean, Garcia Parra was in the league that year. Pokey Reese was in the league that year. I mean, that was back when the Arizona Fall League teams were legitimately sending their best 6 prospects. Teams don't do it as much as they used to, but when the Arizona Fall League first started, every single year you could book the best 6 minor league players in that organization were in the Fall League. You're talking about some tremendous baseball.
Slapped down the right field line, foul. 2-2, the count stays on Jason Kendall. Well, he might have been a young player then, but here he is 1,900 games later, caught in the big leagues. Outside, 3-2.
Terry Francona managed in the Fall League. Dusty Baker managed in the Fall League. Lloyd McClendon managed in the Fall League.
How about another hit for Kendall?
Brad Mills. There are so many managers in the big leagues today that were able to hone their skills in the Arizona Fall League.
So here comes Jim Leland. That is the 17th career 4-hit game for Kendall, and Leland apparently will make its way up to the mound here. Koch, as we mentioned, came on in the 8th inning. Now pitching here in the 9th, and it looks like he'll take the baseball from Koch, and he will. So the Tigers will go to the bullpen. Eddie Bonine comes trotting in, and he will take over for Detroit here in the 9th. 17, count them, 17 hits for Kansas City today.
Eddie Bonine did a magnificent job a few days ago. It was the start that Verlander had here at Comerica Park, and Verlander went 5 innings, and the Tigers are losing at the time against the Cleveland Indians. Bonine came in and did some nice work along with Phil Koch. Tigers came back to win that game, and Jim did not have to really use too many other components of his bullpen that afternoon. That's the value of a long reliever. when one of your starters just doesn't have it that day, if you've got a guy like Bonine, who is a starter by trade, can come in and give you 2-3 good innings and kind of slow the other team down and give your team a chance to come back in the game.
So Jim Leyland has gone to the bullpen, 6-3. The Royals on top, and Bonine now will take over here in the 9th inning. And Phil Coke having a little chat with the skipper. Actually, it's the other way around. Here are the numbers on Bonine. His 3rd appearance of the year.
Bonine, one of those guys that's not overpowered. Fastball anywhere from 81 to 91, 89 to 91 miles an hour. He's got a curve, slider, changeup, and also a knuckleball.
While we have an opportunity here, we remind you, Red Wings fans, get ready for tonight's Red Wings playoff opener with a live chat session starting at 4 p.m. on FoxSportsDetroit.com. That's not too long from now. Our Trevor Thompson and Dana Wakiji will be online to answer your Red Wings questions. That's today at 4 on the web at FoxSportsDetroit.com. So get ready for the Detroit Red Wings and the Phoenix Coyotes. NHL playoffs are back. Royals now have 45 hits in this series. And here is Yuniesky Betancourt facing Bonine. Betancourt with 2 hits of his own, 2 of the 17. Checked his swing, rolls it toward first base. Bonine comes off to make the play. Betancourt is out of there. Runner advances. And with 2 outs, it's up to Chris Getz. Getz had a single back in the 8th. Ball 1.
Seems like every time Getz goes to the plate, he's up there looking to walk. Very seldom does he swing at the first pitch, whether it be a strike or a ball. And with that stolen base percentage that you gave a couple of innings ago, 25 of 27 in his career, why would he swing early?
Oh, right under the glove of Sizemore. This is going to get another run in. Oh, that is a bad mistake there. That could have been the final out. Instead, now it's a 7-3 ball game.
I don't know if he took his eye off the baseball to take a look at Getz, who has a lot of speed running down the line, but obviously it's a play that should be made, and the glove never got down. As a rule of thumb, you work from the ground up, and then you make the necessary adjustments with your glove that you need to make plays.
E4, no RBI. And it's now 7-3. There's David DeJesus. 4-run Royals lead. The only Royal today without a hit is Mitch Meyer. Everybody else has at least one.
More than likely, Getz will be trying to steal second base, even though they have a 4-run lead. Most managers feel a lot more comfortable when they've gotten out of grand slam distance. That would be 5 runs, of course. Right as we speak, it's a 7-3 ball game. Bonine knows that. And the Royals, at least at the beginning of the season, one of your better base running teams in all of baseball.
Runner goes. The throw, the tag. Got him. Out at second base.
What a throw by G Money.
Right on the money. Gerald Laird cuts down the runner. We go to the bottom of the 9th. Last call for the Tigers. We go to the bottom of the ninth, and it is 7-3 in favor of Kansas City. Tigers down to their final swings. They have Ryan Rayburn leading it off, and he pops up a bunt right back to Soria. One pitch, one away.
That's why you have to take your time when bunting for a base hit. Teoscar playing very deep. You have to stay in the batter's box until you make contact, and if you do it that way, opposed to running when bunting, then you get the bunt down. Take a look at Rayburn here. He's going to start moving out of the batter's box. All of a sudden, you drop the bat head and you pop it straight up. That's why you stay in the batter's box, get it down, then run.
Johnny Damon with one out. Soria had to come on in the 8th inning. He walked the first man he faced with 2 outs, but then he got a strikeout. Looped foul. 1-1 on Damon. Johnny with a couple of hits today, plus an RBI. Fouled off. 1-2 on Damon.
That pitch is under the speed limit. 70 miles an hour on that slow breaking ball from Story. I think he and Greinke try to see who can throw theirs the slowest. They both throw quite a few of those slow breaking balls when they're on the mound.
Fouled away. Tigers today have been out hit 17-7. They took a 1-0 lead on an Ordonez home run in the first. That's the only lead the Tigers have had today. The pesky Royals, who play so well here at Comerica Park, 2 outs away from taking 2 of 3. Ground ball to second. Gets 2 gone. Take a big time comeback now. We'll see if Maglio can get it started. Strike one from Soria. 30 saves last year for Joakim Soria, 42 the year before that. And he's ahead 0-2 on Maglio with 2 outs. Swing and a miss, and that is that for the Tigers. Soria comes out of the pen, puts out the fire. And he pitches in the 8th and the 9th today and records a save for KC as they go on to win it. So the Royals will take 2 out of 3. Final score here this afternoon, 7-3 KC. Back with more from Comerica Park in a moment.